I don't even know where to file this under. So let me start out. I'll be brutally honest. I do think Dana is very attractive. She is very beautiful, very sexy, and she's incredibly intelligent. So she has a very sharp mind, which is why this whole chaotic mess she got herself in which she's not really responding to anymore. She's, I guess, just going to ride it out and just do her, sexy demon slaying magical powers. Oh yes, she calls herself that. I'm not joking. She's like got all these tattoos. She's a Christian woman avenging us from the evil demons. Alrighty then, let's get to the point. Okay, so there's kind of a triple hypocrisy, and let me not just note this before we proceed. She recently lost her mother. I lost my mother, so she's put up posts there. So we're not going to be touching that issue. Good faith. Her mother was sick. She passed away. I feel sorry for that. So that is her, and I'm not going to get anywhere near that. I think that's what a decent person should do. However, I am going to have to call out some major triple hypocrisies. So, and let me be clear. I do have a bit of personal investment because she was attacking me and frankly lying about me. But it is what it is in this field. Okay, so contradiction line number one, which I asked her directly, politely saying, well, okay, the way I understand it is this. You are accusing Zero Dark Tony and various other people of stalking and harassing. And by the way, with Process Church, I think she has credible evidence. So I think there it's very alarming. And the Process Church is basically this satanic organization. Okay, that's fine. But then I noted this is going to become very relevant very quickly with Crackhead Kenny, Streets LA, and DOA. She was supporting them. And there were two problems. One, she was lied to me. She said, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And then later she had to admit, oh, I was supporting them. But somehow she feels to be the self-righteous victim here. So I'm like, well, no, Dana, for the record, you lied. I asked you directly. I asked you very nicely that this seems to be a contradiction in your position. And you just got mad and angry and lied. And you lied to several other people. But apparently that's okay because, it's a Dana. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. And let me just explain, because if you've seen my recent videos, you'd be like confused. Wait, I thought Streets and Sweets and DOA and Kenny. Right, today they are feuding, but back then, magically, like what, 6, 7 months ago, they're actually united. Yeah, because see, Dana has a big vendetta against Zero Dark Tony, and let me be very clear: Zero Dark Tony took out a huge loan from Dana. Long story short, he paid little bits and pieces, but not the whole thing. So I've been very clear: he should just pay back the money. It's a lot of money. Just pay her back. Both of you guys move on. It's pretty simple. But Dana does have a long history of collaborating with Zero Dark Tony, which brings us to point number two, hypocrisy contradiction, where her early research with Zero Dark Tony was pretty good. In fact, she says she was not given enough credit. So I will give her credit. It was very good research showing the corruption of SPTV. So she was ahead of the curve with Aaron Smith-Levin, with Nora, etc., showing that they were a bunch of liars and grifters. Good on her. But then she separated from Zero Dark Tony. So follow this because it's getting confusing. So out of nowhere, and by the way, I don't want to give all my secrets away, but let's just say her reconstruction of history is very selective. But anyway, so her and Nora have a very weird past. Anyway, out of nowhere, Dana decides to forgive Nora and says, I think you're very talented, Nora. You're really funny. So my respect for her really declined because I honestly don't care about the politics here, although the politics are not good either. But frankly, people told me this over and over. I just don't think Nora's funny. I really don't. I have no issue with spicy humor. I have no issue with female comedians. I have no issue with women, female comedians doing spicy stuff. No issue whatsoever. In fact, some of the favorite jokes or favorite stuff I look at has female comedians. You can do it. Good on you. I just don't think Nora's that talented. So I'm a little sharply, radically confused that Dana, one, forgives Nora for lying to her. Yeah, yeah. And then secondly, now endorses her brand of comedy and slash hacktivism, not real activism. Okay, fine, whatever. He wants to move on. That does contradict her earlier research showing that the SBTV were liars and grifters. So is she taking that back? Yeah. Are you taking that back, Dana? I think that's still pretty strong stuff. Now, if she wants to disassociate from Zero Dark Tony, she can do that, but stop pretending it didn't happen. Okay? Stop pretending it didn't happen. Now, let's be generous. We've all made mistakes. We've all made mistakes, and we probably all have committed some crimes. Okay? So let's put all the cards on the table. I'm not suggesting she needs to be super pure. If that was a huge mistake, fine, but it did happen. Let's just be clear. Okay, fine. But then her genius move, which gets us to point number hypocrisy contradiction number 3, she sets up this weird secret Reddit propaganda network, right? Right. And we're not even going to delve into that, but I was like, that's a little shaky for an investigative journalist slash demon hunter slash truth teller. That's a little weird. Okay. Her genius move is to hook up with Crackhead Kenny, and Kenny exposed her because he shared some of their emails together. And I'm gonna for the channel members, you're gonna get some exclusive Kenny stuff. But let me give you guys a big nugget. So at the 5 hour mark, Kenny says, "Hey man, yeah, I have relations with women. They're not sexual all the time. So good faith, because to put it mildly, Kenny now and his fidelity is in question. I'm not suggesting that Kenny and Dana had any intercourse of any kind, or that it was even primarily a romantic sexual. However, apparently they were discussing some fairly erotic material, and Dana blatantly admitted that apparently this group chat thing, there was a minor involved. Right. Now, I honestly don't care about these people anymore. I'm not invested. However, Dana does bring this up a lot, like really obsessively. And these are grown adults. They have their issues. If she wants to expose them, so be it. Whatever. And I'm not even dropping all the tea. I'm not even dropping all the tea here. But if you're gonna be self-righteous about children in danger and children being exposed, because that's what she kept moralizing about Zero Dark Tony, like it is improper for Zero Dark Tony to be talking about young boys and girls like that. Okay, fine, Dana, that's your stance. But apparently she was part of a group where an underage person was exposed to some graphic material. She didn't care. She didn't care. So by her own standard, one, she's a criminal and she should be put in jail. Two, well, a lot of these criticisms against Zero Dark Tony and a lot of other people, yeah, because she was bringing this accusation to one person in particular. She outright said, well, I'm not saying this person is dead. I'm just saying that's a little weird. This guy's in this photo and this very young girl's in the photo. So you guys make your own conclusions. Okay, fine, Dana, fine. That is fine. These are adults. They made their decisions. If that information is correct, we should judge them. That is totally legit. I got no dog in this fight. What I am saying, however, is you're being really wildly hypocritical when you raise this alarm. And I'm going to be fair, she's not Serge. Okay, Serge is a complete moron, complete manipulator. I don't trust him on this issue. I don't. I don't take him seriously for one single second when he babble. By the way, I have receipts there too. There's a lot of people like, shut the hell up, okay? Because the one good thing Dana and Zero Dark Tony did was show some pretty alarming things that Serge is up to. So just don't take Serge too seriously. However, Dana I do take a little seriously. So if she thinks this or that person is actually hurting children, okay, her accusations hold some weight. So for her to blatantly just, oh wait, you're saying you let a kid see this stuff, and now she's like, oh guys, this is just very alarming. In my opinions, this is very alarming. Zero Dark Tony's doing this. Well, what's the difference? So Zero Dark Tony is saying some pretty questionable things. Okay, that's bad, allegedly, but you're letting this kid see and hear in some very adult conversations. Like, this is now public record. Can you expose this? So it's okay when you do it, but when Zero Dark Tony does it, it's bad. Oh, by the way, listen, here I'm going to give Dana a huge break. She's under no obligation to help Tony. None whatsoever. But when Aaron Smith-Levin was terrorizing Zero Dark Tony and his old mother screaming, oh my God, You're a predator. Did Dana at least do a fact correct and saying, well, that's not technically true? No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You let that happen. Okay, whatever. That's Aaron's issue. That's Zero Dark Tony's issue. Although I think Dana does get self righteous on the elderly, so maybe protect Zero Dark Tony's mother. No, forget it. Whatever. She's also a criminal. Okay, fine. Fine, Dana. Fine. However, if that is the standard, then what if tomorrow the process church people start going to your home or your work and start screaming that you are a PD? What about then? Or you think that's okay? I would still protect you there. See, I'm the better person. I would say, I think it's a little complicated. I think it was not wise, right? So let's recap. You one lie, one hypocrisy towards me. I don't appreciate that. No apology either from her. Okay, fine, whatever. Hypocrisy, contradiction number two, contradiction, hypocrisy number three. And this all stemmed from you having a questionable association in the first place with Crackhead Kenny, which I warned you about, right? I warned you about. Yeah, I warned you about that. So now you're paying the price. So I'm going to be the better person. I don't think seriously Dana is, she's not Scoville. She's not. Let's get a grip. However, if we're going to be nuanced and make exceptions to the rule and be careful with these accusations, we should do that all the way, which she is not. Her research is getting more sloppy. She's throwing accusations all over the place. So, Dana, stop lying about other people and I'll stop telling the truth about you. Yeah? Yeah? And, I know you're never going to apologize to me, but it's on the record. You lied about me. You slandered me. You insulted me. And I was correct. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, bottom line, you were caught 3 times being a liar and a hypocrite. But I do not honestly think that Dana is a predator. I don't honestly think that. So if she gets accused of that, I will defend her there. But she's put herself in a really bad situation. Right. And that was her decision.